And Henne's going to keep it on the left side. Run! Touchdown! Kansas City! Chad Henne spikes the ball in the end zone. Only 7 appearances prior to this game since 2013. And Chad Henne does his inner Lamar Jackson.
That was Chad Henne's first touchdown since 2014 earlier this season. We'll love to see a few more on Sunday. Hey everybody, and welcome into our game preview this week presented by Crown Royal. My name is Matt McMullen, and this week we're joined by Terez Paylor, Yahoo Sports. He's going to help us break down Chiefs and Chargers. Terez, what's up, man?
Hey, how's it going, Matt? How you doing?
Doing well. Really appreciate your time as always. And Terez, this game is interesting. Doesn't really mean much in the standings here for the Chiefs, but certainly means a lot in terms of evaluation for a lot of different young players on this roster. A lot of the reserves will see some time in this one. Chad Henne, of course, a veteran. He'll play at quarterback for the Chiefs in this game, but also a lot of young players that don't typically see the field as much. Are there any players in particular you're excited to watch in this one that maybe don't see the field as much?
Yeah, I want to get a better look at some of these receivers. You know, if Tyreek Hill sits, Travis Kelce sits, you know, at some point, these young players are the future here too. Like they're going to need, because of all the money the Chiefs have spent on building the roster, like these are guys they're going to need to keep developing and really contribute, right? Because when you pay a lot of money to like a few guys, you got to fill out your roster by what? Draft and develop. So I'll be looking at some of those receivers, Pringle, Hardman, and then offensive line wise too. Like if everybody plays okay, but that group, in my opinion, is a group that's really going to drive a lot of the success they have in the postseason, because last year they were so good, offensive line driving people off the football in January, which, was a sign of progress they'd made during the course of the year. So I think they need to kind of key that up again, because there will come points this January where they're going to need to run the football and move other men off the ball.
Should be a fun game to watch. Real football nerd game, seeing the depth of this team moving forward. So it should be a blast watching these guys compete out there. And they'll be doing it against a pretty good Chargers team. I know they're just 6-9 on the year, but they've lost 6 games by a touchdown or less and won 3 games in a row. So they're playing pretty good football lately. A big reason because of that is Justin Herbert, of course, could be Rookie of the Year this season. 28 touchdowns, that's an NFL record for a rookie, 4,000 passing yards. What do you make of Herbert this year, and how can the Chiefs slow him down on Sunday?
Really, really impressive player. He's kind of got that Mahomes gene a little bit, where you can try to heat him up, but he almost always makes you pay. His arm talent is outstanding. I mean, he can make some passes a lot of guys can't. He can really hum it in there. And he's a good enough athlete to escape pressure too. So he's kind of got the full package, a calm demeanor about him. Now it's up to him to continue to develop as a quarterback. But he's actually really impressive from the sense that, he's a playmaker quarterback, and that's what you need in today's NFL. Teams have had some success heating them up a little bit, when you actually get home on them, that's a good thing. But the thing is, I watched Raiders try to touch him, and, they're running twisting games and a whole bunch of stuff. And he was just standing right in there and throwing bullets. So you better make sure you get to him, or at least affect him more than the Raiders did if you try to bring heat on him. And I do think you should try to bring heat on him, especially on a cold Kansas City Week 17 day.
Should be a great challenge, see how it plays out. Chiefs looking to finish the season strong here. Only 4 teams since 2000 have won 15 games in a season. 15-1 certainly sounds pretty good, so we'll see if the Chiefs can do that on Sunday. Now, looking at the playoffs, Terez, Chiefs, of course, have a bye in the first round, but will hit the field in the divisional round against an opponent who's to be determined here. I'm just curious for your thoughts on the Chiefs heading into the postseason as we try to run it back.
Yeah, so I think they're in a pretty good position, obviously, and it's one where they're not just playing for another title, they're kind of playing for legacy, because I feel like this has the makings of one of those take no prisoners, defend the title seasons that you see every once in a while in the NFL, right? I think the Patriots had it 15 years ago. I think maybe they're the last team to go back-to-back. So, and then the Broncos did it 2 decades ago. But those are seasons where we're the champs. We're going to defend the title. You know that we're better than you. We know that we're better than you, and there's nothing you can do about it. I kind of feel like we might be headed for that, especially since, just like, 98 with the Broncos, the NFC champion could be someone we didn't see coming. Remember then it was Atlanta. This year wouldn't surprise me if maybe even a wild card team got there. I just think that conference is way more open than the AFC, excuse me. So, I think they're in a good spot. I think, the Chiefs, quite frankly, are in a position now where if like they win the Super Bowl and they go 14-2 and they do it pretty handily, like now we're talking about legacy. We're talking about, in 20 years when NFL Films put together their list of greatest Super Bowl champions, we're talking about a team that could be number 5 or 6 or 4 or 3 on that list, and if they finish 15-1, remember the 85 Bears went 15-1 too, I think. So I'm just saying, like, you're playing for legacy at some point, and that obviously comes down to how dominant they are throughout the playoffs. But if they stack, like, was it 4 more games here, 4 more dominant wins together, now you're talking about one of the greatest teams of all time, which is one hell of a thing to play for.
Certainly exciting to think about. Chiefs are only the 8th team since 1978. That's when the 16-game schedule was implemented to win 14 games a season after winning a Super Bowl. So this group is certainly hungry. Can't wait to see what they can do here on Sunday and also in the playoffs. So we'll see how it all plays out. Terez, awesome stuff as always. Thank you so much for your time, man.
Yeah, no problem, man.